my little sunshine, because she lit up the house. I was on my way home. I was on the phone with my father, and I said, Dad, I have to go. There's lights and fire trucks at the end of my street, and I don't know what's going on. And there was all these people, and a child laying on the ground, and I had no idea it was my daughter. I saw her bike, and it was mangled, and I realized she had an accident. The driver of the SUV says that she was distracted by her phone. She hit her head on with her 5,000-pound SUV. I spent the night with her that night. I held her, I cried, I kissed her, I sung to her. I just needed to have time with my girl. Do you see this beautiful girl with this beautiful smile? That was my daughter, and she's gone now. I cannot get her back because of a person on a cell phone.
Jordan was the most lovable human being that I ever encountered. Although he had become a man, he was still my little boy. I would kiss him goodnight every single night. He was 18 years old, and around, I guess it was 4:20 in the afternoon, 4:25, we called him on his cell phone. The next thing I know, the phone went dead. My first thought was his battery ran out. About 15, 20 minutes later or so, the doorbell rang. I saw a police officer standing there. He said, "Do you own a Hyundai?" I said, "Is my son okay?" We got to the hospital about 5 minutes later, and the doctor came. She said, "Mr. Sibley, can we go somewhere and talk?" I said, "Look, please, I just need to know. Is my son alive? It's a yes or no question." She said, "No, your son died." And then I let out this primal scream, the kind that you see in the movies. But that scream is real. And you feel like your whole life has died with your child, because children are not supposed to die before their parents. We believe that he dropped his cellular phone. He unbuckled his seatbelt, he bent over to grab the phone and hit this big, massive, beautiful oak tree. And he was killed instantly.
AJ was a presence. He was goofy and funny, and he had an amazing smile. It was December 3rd, 2007. I came up behind the accident and saw that it was my son's car. When I got to the hospital, a doctor and nurse came in, and he sat down and he said, "We did all we can do. We couldn't save your son." AJ rolled through the stop sign at the entrance to our neighborhood and into the path of a garbage truck. He was texting his girlfriend. His accident was 100% preventable. My son wasn't just a number. He's not just a statistic. My son was AJ Larson, and he meant the world to me and a lot of other people. And he's no longer here because of texting while driving.
My mother's name was Linda Doyle. She was 61 years old. She was a wife, a mother, a grandmother. She was everybody's best friend. The last day we ever saw my mom alive was on her birthday. Now, on September 3rd of 2008, a 20-year-old driver ran a red light and T-boned her car at about 45 to 50 miles an hour. He immediately got out of the car and said that he was on the phone. He didn't see the light. And, you know, the news reports that night, the newspapers the next day said he was engrossed in a cell phone conversation. And when I saw the seat she was sitting in, that was the hardest part for me. Put your mother, your wife, your son, your daughter, your grandparents, your friend in that seat that my mother was sitting in, and you tell me, is that phone call worth it?
feel it